Alright, I've done it. I've defeated all the mini-bosses, I've collected all 900 Warlock Seeds, and it's finally time for me to face the final boss.
But not before you fight me! Xalem Sigma Kappa Gigahertz of the Kappa Sigma Gigahertz clan. Ever since our last battle,
Look, man, I really appreciate what you're doing, but I'm already like 30 levels above you. I'm just trying to beat the boss so that I can get to the sequel, so...
Silence! Ever since our last battle, I have honed my skills and proved my valor to prove myself that I am the better.
Why can I not skip this cutscene? Video game rivals. Ever since the dawn of man, competition to prove who's the superior of two individuals has been fought. Whether it be in movies, TV, or whoever has the better cat food, rivalries have always been a way to strengthen yourself to come out on top and show yourself as the best of the best. Upon a quick Google search, a rival is classified as a person or thing competing with another for the same objective. Kind of a big talk for a company with no rivals, but that does raise the question of when's the last time you heard someone say, just bing it. But this definition does make sense. Characters like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fight each other for victory, however they have two completely separate goals, one to save the galaxy and one to conquer it. A true rivalry is one like Explosion Boy and Lettuce, who are consistently hostile towards each other, but push each other's strengths towards a like-minded goal, in this case being the #1 hero. These rivalries reign true in video games as well, whether it be characters like Mega Man and Proto Man, or even the game companies themselves, like Microsoft and Sony. But I think the most famous of these video game company rivalries would be the classic Nintendo-Sega feud in the 90s. Video game rivalries like these truly brought out the best in their respective companies, even if it means constantly belittling each other in press conferences and ads. But how do you build a rivalry in a video game? Part of building a rival is creating a character to push the game and narrative forward while offering a rewarding and challenging experience for the player. In the early days of video games, players truly didn't experience rivals within the games themselves. Rather, the rivals in this case would be the typical Player 1 and Player 2. With smaller high-score based games, the main challenge to overcome was friends and strangers on a leaderboard. But with the jump to home consoles, lengthening the games and giving characters a small backstory became a necessary part to add lore and help immerse the player. Some people like to claim that one of the first rivalries in gaming is Link and Ganon or Mario and Bowser. I do understand where people are coming from, but these are not rivals. Rivals consist of two characters that need to fight towards a similar goal, whether they be antagonistic or not. Link's goal is to protect the land of Hyrule no matter what the cost, while Ganon only cares about the power wielded by the Triforce. Link sees Ganon as a powerful foe that needs to be stopped, while Ganon only sees Link as a stepping stone. In the same vein, Mario sees Bowser as an enemy, while Bowser only sees Mario as the man preventing him from running off real estate on his property taxes.
So if you ask me, the first true rivalry in video games didn't come out until 1987, 2 years after the launch of the NES in North America. Now, honestly, I just wanted a really cool way to introduce this song, so check this out.
Street Fighter was released on August 30th, 1987, and was one of the first stand-up arcade cabinets. Street Fighter introduced the two main characters, Ryu from Japan and Ken from the United States, as good friends, but rivals. Upon the initial story, they were both striving to be the champion of the World Tournament, facing various challengers along the way. Typical fighting game stuff. I mean, what did you expect? It's 1987. They didn't even have Furbies yet. Life was pathetic. But Ryu and Ken's relationship as clone characters started a long-standing trend in video games, introducing new rivals to help connect players to different characters. Typical arcade talk moved from how do you get past this part to who's your favorite character and how did you do this combo. It wasn't long before other video game companies started to pick up on this trend. Mortal Kombat introduced Sub-Zero and Scorpion and their ever-growing clan battles. Tekken introduced Kazuya and Heihachi's dysfunctional family relationship. But probably the most popular of these video game rivalries was the classic Bean the Dynamite versus Amy Winehouse. But with consoles moving forward in the middle of the 90s, one series managed to define what a true rivalry is, with one of, if not the most famous video game rivalries of all time. Blue is the perfect representation of what a rival strives to be in a video game. Yeah, you can't really do a video about rivalries without talking about Pokemon. At the beginning of the game, Professor Oak explains that you two have been rivals ever since you were babies. Like seriously, what the hell were we doing? Fighting over some Pikachu Happy Meal toys or something? I don't know. The second you get a Pokemon after naming your rival, he's ready to prove his superiority, challenging you to a Pokemon battle. Like bro, I haven't even seen my onion ass looking dinosaur. You expect me to ask it to try and kill you? But Blue shows persistence, a key element to being a good rival. He challenges you after gym battles, in a cemetery, when you're taking down a criminal organization, and most of these battles are truly harder than the gyms and Team Rocket leaders you fight. He offers a truly daunting challenge that surprises you at the most unsuspecting times, and he's always a step ahead of you. The game never strays from letting you know that he's beaten this gym first. But finally, you've done it. You've beaten the Elite Four, but wait! Hold up, he's already done that before you two. Now this might seem fairly commonplace now, but at the time this was a huge reveal, and truly showed what a good rival is capable of. A good rival needs to bring out the heart and drive of the player, while not feeling like an obstacle in the player's path. Now that's not to say that the series doesn't have other good rivals. Silver steals a Pokemon and has to overcome his remorse. Ian is trying to learn more about himself to see what the world is truly capable of. Hao is constantly trying to prove that he's the better. No, I'm just kidding. F*** Hao. Gladian though. Rivals need to make you feel like you want to move forward, not an obstacle in your path that irritates you. They should be a challenge, not, oh darn, I lost, better go eat some malasadas. Like, the only thing that I want to do after I beat How is Google what in the hell a malasada is, if that's even how you say it. Now, I gotta give some love to Serena in the anime, because she's one of my favorite characters in the whole entire series, because I mean, just look at her. But the rivals in X and Y the game are just a joke. You start the game with 4 rivals, your gender-swapped character, a girl that tries to hit on you, one with a dance team, and one that, who did your hair? These rivals all feel like one-dimensional characters that truly hurts the player experience, and feels more like filler content than an actual challenge. Rivals need to feel connected to the player, not just shoved to you as a tutorial or because your game must have a rival character. Xalem and Serena are just carbon copies of the main character, while the 3 supporting members aren't truly rivals, though they say they are. Which leads me to my next point, that not every character that you meet that says they're a rival is a rival. Like, listen Falco, I know you're the most condescending thing in the land of Hyrule, but you don't make me feel challenged, you make me feel like I want to punch you. And then you have Roche from Final Fantasy VII Remake, who shows up once and claims he's your biggest rival, with no context whatsoever. I actually forgot his name and had to just bing it, which automatically disqualifies him from any sort of believability as a rival.
So I've taken the liberty to put rivals into 3 separate categories. You've got your friends, you've got your not friends, and then you've got the ones that can't make up their fucking mind.
Friends are the ones we love. They're our childhood pals that we've been through thick and thin with, and we just want to be the strongest that we can be. This is your Mario vs. post 8-bit era Donkey Kong, or your Sonic vs. Knuckles.
Oh, no.
We're all just trying to sit around, have a good time, play some tennis or something, and whoever's the best wins. But that shit's boring. Then you've got your not friends, or so what I've been told is called a pho, which, contradictory to popular belief, is not a Vietnamese dish consisting of broth, rice, and noodles. These are the characters that are contradictory to the main hero. This is your Pit versus Dark Pit, Shadow versus Sonic, Snake versus Liquid Snake. There's a lot of clone characters here. Usually it's some grudge from an early childhood where they want to prove their might against the player. There's usually no ill intent, rather than just proving yourself the victor and coming out on top. They don't necessarily want to hurt the player, they just want to prove that they should be the main character because the player character is a weak son of a... And then you get into this gray area of rivals that can't make up their fucking minds. They have no idea who the hell you are, whether you're a friend or a foe, a stupid fight at the end of the game where you have to go through the same cutscene 20 times. Please see the beginning of this video if you didn't get the memo. These are the rivals that start off friendly, and then they see the shock and horror of the world, and they don't know how to deal with what they've seen. One minute you're shooting pool, having a good time, next thing you know you're... getting shot in the head. Seriously, I don't get these characters sometimes. These are usually the ones that I appreciate the most, giving a more in-depth backstory to the characters and the world that has been created. Not every plotline is as simple as it seems, not every enemy has ill intent, and not every villain necessarily wants to kill you. Adding a sense of depth to these characters not only draws them forward, but helps bring forth the main character's emotion and the player's investment in the story. So let's dive into some of the big ones, with one of the most well-known being Star Wolf and Star Fox, and if you haven't noticed, a lot of these characters are kind of clones to the main character. Star Wolf is a mercenary group that has a long history with Star Fox that has never truly been explored, since we haven't had a good mainline title in a very long time. Star Wolf was originally hired by Antros to hunt down Fox McCloud and jumped at the opportunity, not to intentionally kill Fox, rather prove he's the superior of the two. However, in 1997, Nintendo of Europe released a comic titled Lilat Wars, which expanded upon the original plot of Star Fox 64. In this version, Andrew and Pigma, the other members of Star Wolf, attacked Star Fox during a mission on Solar without Wolf's approval. Wolf came in at the last minute, attacking his own team to rescue Fox, claiming his grudge with Fox was not over, and that they would end the battle some other time. Another classic rivalry is Samurai Goro and Captain Falcon, and this is not just my way of saying I want a new F-Zero game. This one's pretty simple. Goro wants to prove he's the best after Captain Falcon won the last Grand Prix. So he does what any friendly rival would do. Put a knife to your neck, throws boulders at you, and holy shit, man, Donuts ain't got nothing on you. And then you have Riku and Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and that's a lot to unpack in one video, so we're just gonna leave this here for now. But when do rivals fail? Well, personally, I believe that rivals fail when they stop being fun.
If it's not fun, why bother?
If a rival feels more like a chore to go through rather than an actual challenge, then what exactly is the point? If a character is not the main villain but offers a challenge during a more relaxed section, it's still inviting. But if a character is more or less just filler to lengthen the gameplay experience, then why are they even here in the first place? If the fight feels like just another battle, then the challenge at hand will fall flat. But if a character moves the story forward and makes you truly sympathize with what they're going through, and possibly even their twisted motives, then the player will make a connection because they want to take down that character. However, in contrast, if a boss is kind of just shoved in there at the very end for the purpose of a plot twist, then this doesn't do justice to the immersion that you're trying to build in a game. What is justifying me to defeat this character? Am I beating this character because of the connection and emotion behind becoming victorious over watching this rival grow and fail? Or am I just beating him because this is a video game and this is my target. Good rivalries are never straightforward. Some rivalries make you hate a character because you're put in the shoes of the protagonist, others make you fall in love with a rival more so than the main character. But in the end, having a character that contrasts the main character adds immersion to the game. You're not going through this journey alone, be it an ally or an enemy, you've got someone else fighting towards the same goal. Whether they bring out the skill and power of your character or reveal the hidden secrets of the world, rivalries have a long-standing place in video games. And to be honest, I just think they're neat. Even if you don't play story-driven video games, you can still have rivalry in competitive games. Rivalries can be your friends. They're your classmate that sits in front of you that you come home with and duke it out on Final Destination. It's that dude you're yelling at when it's 3 AM to suck your because he won't do what you ask him to in Call of Duty. No matter what it is, you can find your own sense of what defines a rivalry.
So that's why I'm gonna start by taking on my biggest rival, the YouTube algorithm. So make sure you like, comment,
Ever since we were young boys, we were rivals in this clan.
Fuck me.